My dad can't have chat for me. You can be embarrassed about somebody's sexuality or somebody's life choices, but you're not embarrassed about having 5 kids from 4 different baby mums, not being in a stable relationship, not being able to look after your kids. I can't respect a man that leaves the financial responsibilities onto his mother. I can't respect a man that at your big age doesn't have anything to accumulate to but 50 million baby mums, but you want to worry about my sexuality. I cannot respect people that now that you have a child is when you see that how my father has treated me is up. I can't respect people like that. It's too late.
Thing up and make sense soon. Make a band-aid and put it over the wound.
Watagwan pound, watagwan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So by the title of this video, I'm going to be addressing the topic that you lot will always drag me about, always bring up when I'm on Instagram live, always talk about when you lot want to troll me. If you're new to my channel and you do not know who I am, my name is Daniel and I go by Phillip or Godet for short on my social media platforms. Now, you lot might be wondering why I didn't do this any earlier, why am I doing it now? What is behind my reasoning for doing it now? Obviously, over the past couple of months, I have been thinking about just talking about this on my platform because I'm in a carefree vibe and I do want some people out there to get to know me a bit more. There have been people in the past that have tried to use this against me, tried to expose me and shit like that, but I'm not the type of person to crumble under pressure. I'm not the type of person to crumble when somebody wants to go and chat my business or stuff like that. I just roll how I roll. Nobody will ever be able to take my story away from me. Anyway, now let's get into this video. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe to the ting, and thank you for the love every blood clot time. I can remember from a very young age, I used to call myself a female. I don't know why, I just used to say I'm a girl. I used to tell my brothers and sisters, call me a girl, call me Daniela, call me a girl. It just didn't, I didn't necessarily know why. When I got older, I learned that when I was younger, my aunt used to dress me up as a girl. She used to dress me up as a girl, put me in wigs, makeup. She used to buy me female clothes when my parents weren't around. When my parents used to go to work, my aunt would dress me up. When I would be at my aunt's house, she would watch porn in front of me. She would watch porn in front of me, she would fiddle with my genital areas and she would do weird stuff. I didn't understand it. When I started to go to primary school, there was an incident where I was behaving out of character and I was saying things that the teacher didn't necessarily understand. Obviously, I learned this information when I got older. And my mum said to me that she had confronted my dad and said that a teacher was concerned because I was saying things like, I'm a girl, I want to be a girl, my name is Danielle, don't call me. I used to get really out of hand because I genuinely believed that I was a girl. And my mum confronted my dad about it. My dad blew it off. He got angry. He said, what kind of foolishness that? I bat him and taught that we don't deal with that round yassa. And I'll cut him off out of my life if he ever turned that way. Da 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 da. That was the conversation that they had when I was younger. And as I progressed to 5 and 6, there was, I'm going to be real with you lot, there was stages of ancestry, fiddling and bobbling with cousins and family members. I cannot explain it to you, but it did happen. I can't necessarily say why, but it did happen. I was curious and I was just, I don't know, because I had seen the porn videos that my aunt would be watching and videotapes that would be left around lying on the floor in the house. I was curious. So that did happen later on in my life. Now, throughout my teenager years, I was dating girls. I never had one experience with a boy. When I was in high school, I never had one experience with a boy. I used to get bullied and people would come up to me and say, you're a batty man, you're gay, you're this, da 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 da. But I would never understand it because it was like, I've never done anything with a boy. So why do you lot keep calling me that? Why do you lot keep saying that about me? It never connected, you understand? So in my teenage years, it only happened later on when I used to do weird stuff like me and my cousin would be playing games and they'll call a boy and I would pretend to be a girl and I would flirt with the boy on the phone. Like we would do prank calls and stuff like that. And I began to like it. And it was just, I began to like it and I would talk to the boys on the phone and they would have no clue that they're talking to a boy. But do you get what I mean? That's what I would do. And that's as far as it went. As I got to my mid-teens, that's when laptops are about, and that's when I now have access to the internet. I have MSN, I have Bebo, I have all these things, but pop-ups are coming up and porn is coming up, and I'm looking and I'm researching and new information is coming to me. Now I'm looking at what is gay. I'm looking at what is gay. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what is a man and man kissing. What is that? So I'm going to look now. And never once did I ever sit and think, do I want to try this? Am I going to go out there and look? My household was quite strict, so I didn't really go out with my friends and stuff like that. I was generally in the house. As I got to 15, 16 is when I got my own phone and I had more access to the internet where I could be on the phone, I could be on the internet late hours of the night. And that's when I started to go on like gay chat rooms, but I never ever met guys like me, meaning black boys like me from London. People don't know about my sex. Never, ever, ever. It was always white boys. And I made friendships with the white guys because it was like, obviously I was kind of living through them. So their family knew, they was just living their life. And I was kind of happy for them because it was just like, raw, like, I don't know what's going on with me, but you seem to be happy. Do you get what I mean? One of my closest friends had introduced me to a male friend of hers. Let's just call him Kay. Now, Kay was very flamboyant. Kay was very flamboyant, very over the top, but he as well didn't really address his sexuality. Me and him didn't ever talk about it because he didn't really know me, but my friend was always curious and she wanted to see. So there was a situation where she was like to me, flirt with him and see if he acts out or acts up. But I wasn't actually realizing it's like, maybe she's trying to figure me out as well, but we've just never had that conversation. He was texting at one point and it went a bit X-rated, and then that's when I nipped it in the bud. I didn't go back and touch it because obviously I didn't want to lead him on and make him think that I liked him or anything like that. That was it. After meeting him, we were just friends. I didn't discuss any of my curiosities or anything like that. I just continued on to live my life in secret, kept my curiosities to myself, and I just done my own thing. Now, I've gone to my best friend at the time and I've told her how I'm feeling, my situation, and she's just like, why don't you try it? Why don't you do? One of the white guys that I was close with, I did go and meet him and we did do like foreplay. I don't regret it because I knew that I wanted to find out what was going on. I knew I wanted to do what me and the guy was about to do. Do you get what I mean? So I don't regret it at all. After that is when I kind of opened up to Kay, and then that's when Kay introduced me to the black side of the gay scene, men being gay, bi, whatever. That's when Kay introduced me. I never really asked him when he figured out his sexuality. I didn't ask. I was just mainly figuring out myself. And he brought me to a scene where I was so amazed and shocked. I was just like, what is this? I was like, since when? I was like, wow, there's other people out here like me. Then I felt more comfortable in that scene. I never had discussed this with anybody else, only my friend and Kay, nobody else. So I'm going out and I'm having fun, I'm feeling ecstatic, I'm feeling free, but when I go home, I'm going back into that boxed, kind of closed off kind of vibe. Do you get what I mean? Now that I have more experience, I've met guys, I've had my little fun, it's not fun for a few months, I've now decided, I actually want to look for a little ting, do you get what I mean? This is where my first ever boyfriend, the guy that changed my life forever, changed me forever, came along. Now, obviously, there was this website called a BGC, yeah? And it's where black men go on there and they find whatever they want to look for in black men. He was on there and we met on New Year's Eve and I was told that he was 25. I lied and said I was 19. I told him I was 19 and then he told me he was 25. Later on he found out that I was 17 and he was actually 26 or 27. It did put a strain on our relationship, but we did manage to get through it. As the months went on, the relationship didn't necessarily last long and it became toxic. It became controlling. As I matured in those months and I got my own job, started making my own money and made new friends, I almost felt like he felt like I was leaving him. Like the needy characteristics that I had in the beginning where he felt like he had to fend for me for everything. I didn't need that no more. So I feel like he didn't know what to do. Do you understand? So he became very aggressive, very manipulative, and he would abuse me. There was a time where he threw me out of a moving car. He gave me a black eye one time on my way to college. He smashed my head into a window. One time when I was so angry with him, I just said, I just want to leave. I just want to be free. And I ripped up a painting of his. He literally smashed the painting frame in my head. It was one of the worst times in my life, and I became so broken. I became so broken to a point where I literally just could not even face my own family. I couldn't even go home. Do you get what I mean? There was a time where I didn't have clothes, I didn't have anything like that, and he was providing everything for me. And because he didn't like something that I did, he made me go home in near to naked, with ripped up slippers on and chewed up boxers. Like literally, I walked home in like an underwear and a vest because he didn't like something that I done. But obviously he had control over me. I allowed him to have control over me. We was on and off to a point where it just was like, can I not move on? Like, why am I not moving on? These times I'm meant to be going to college, working part-time in my dad's shop, but I'm bunking off of college and then I'm staying at his house. I'll be at his house weeks upon end, doing absolutely nothing. We would just be like a married couple in this house. That just became the norm. When I decided that I wanted to kind of move back to my dad's house, it was like, what, you think you can just come into my house and then just leave me? I then thought to myself, oh mate, oh that's dread. Maybe I should stay. So I ended up trying to fight it and stay, and it became very toxic. In this time, I had two phones. I had a phone that my family would call me on, and then I had another phone that I would speak to my partner on, and that's the way he would communicate with me. In that phone, there was inappropriate text messages where, when we would stop talking, I would offer up my body, I'd offer up and things like that for him to like take me back. The reason why that happened was because I kind of normalized that. I normalized that my body was a way to make him happy. There were times where I would be sleeping and he would have sex with me while I'd be asleep. He would fondle and fiddle with me while I'm asleep, and that became my norm. Now, in the process of us breaking up, I had to be so aggressive and so stern to a point where we was fighting nearly every day. But then once it got to a point where he was no longer bothered to fight and he wants to move on, he was getting other attention and stuff like that, I didn't know what to do with myself. So stupid on me, I've gone and done a tattoo on my back with an N, a huge N on my back. And because his name starts with an N, didn't change nothing. He was not interested. Back to us not necessarily being together, but he'd just be using my body, using me for sex, and then that would be it. That just became my norm. And I was so damaged, I was so angry because it was like, I know nothing else but you. Do you get what I mean? When I was with you, I couldn't have friends. I couldn't meet new people that was like me. When I would meet new people like me, you would say, oh, that person's a kid. Or what, are you doing coke? That person smokes weed. What, do you want to start smoking weed now? That was my life. I couldn't do nothing. So I became very angry and very standoffish. So when people would meet me, they wouldn't know what mood I'm in because my face is push up, my face is stink, I'm unapproachable, and I just don't look happy. Do you get what I mean? Around this time now, I'm wrapping up college and I'm just going through it. My mum would ask me how I am and stuff like that while I'm living at my dad's house, but because she wouldn't necessarily see me, I wouldn't necessarily have to deal with, like, I wouldn't have to deal with the considered nagging and the on and on moaning and stuff like that. I could just live my life at my dad's house. My dad wasn't necessarily in the house a lot. He was always working or flying out to Jamaica, so I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't have nobody watching over me, checking up if I'm finishing work or anything like that. But somehow I managed to finish college and I'm in the process of going to uni. I have literally gone through different kind of images, piercings, hair colours, clothes, and I'm being a rebel as well. I'm going out and I'm coming in at hours of the morning. My brother's thinking, what's wrong? What's going on? What's wrong with this boy? But I'm standoffish, I'm aggressive. I'm like, no, I'm not chatting to you. You don't need to know what I'm doing. So as I told you lot before, I had a second phone. My brother kept asking me, oh, I need a second phone. My phone broke. I need a second phone. Can I borrow the phone that's in your room? I said, no. But because I knew that was my second phone, it had a SIM card in it and there was text messages and numbers that I needed in that phone. So What does my brother go and do? My brother doesn't listen to me and he goes and takes the phone. He goes and looks through all my text messages. Now, he read all the text messages in my phone and he saw text messages to my ex-partner and it would say stuff like, take me back, you can do this and that to me, and I know you like this and I know you like that, and that will make you happy and that will make you want me again. I know you love when I do this, do that. And it was just disgusting. It was very vulgar. So my brother was in disgust. He was angry. And as you lot know, my family is Jamaican. My brother is a born and bred Jamaican man, and he literally blew up. He phoned me. He said, what the hell is this in your phone? You little batty man, come and get your things and get out of the house. You're disgusting. Obviously my dad is away, so it's only me and my brother. My brother is like 4 or 5 years older than me. He's a big man, and he's responsible for the house while my dad is away. So my brother was just like, get out, come and get your stuff and get out. Obviously, these times I'm on the roads. I don't know where I was, but the only person that I could call was my ex-partner. And magically he came, picked me up, and he dropped me to my mum's. Now, obviously, I was hoping that nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew. I was hoping that my brother wouldn't have told anyone. I was hoping that I could have just maneuvered through this and been able to just continue living this secret life, but it just didn't work. When I moved into my mum's house now, I'm still dealing with this ex-partner now, this abusive ex-partner, and I'm trying to win him back. I got the tattoo, didn't work. I started painting pictures of him, I started drawing pictures of him, and I used to paint them and put them all over his room, and didn't work. Did not work. My mum would look through my rubbish and she'll see pictures of this boy, and obviously in the pictures he looks considerably older than me, and she's thinking, who is this? Who is this person that you're always with? And I'm just like, oh, it's just somebody that I paint. It's somebody that commissions me to paint for them, and I just make extra money. I'm lying through my teeth. When my mum confronted me about my brother kicking me out in the text messages, I regret this to this day. I swore on her life and I said, Mummy, he's lying. It's not true. He's lying. There was nothing in the text messages. But she had already known. She already knew. Do you get what I mean? And from the past, my childhood, she'd already knew what direction this was going in. And I said to myself, I'm not gonna address this. I'm just gonna be standoffish and mean and grumpy and moody, and I'm just gonna continue on with my life. Do what I do. It was hard for me to move on from this boy, but I said to myself, I'm going to uni now. I need to just get away. So I picked the most furthest uni away so that I could just live my life and feel free. I got myself a job in Next, and I was just working. I was still able to work in my dad's shop, but obviously me working in my dad's shop, I didn't have to address anything. I was just going to work and leaving. There was no kind of conversation, but on the weekends when I would change from my work clothes into my personal clothes, like the people that would be working there would make comments and be like, oh, you're a man whore, you look like a gigolo. They'll go to my dad and say, Daniel has a piercing here, have you seen it? Daniel has a tongue piercing. I saw Daniel here. And my dad's getting frustrated. He don't know how to deal with it. Do you get what I mean? My dad is the calmest, coolest guy in the world. He don't do the whole confrontation thing. You would have to literally shake him to get him riled up or angry. Do you get what I mean? There was one time my dad came up, my dad pulled me aside and was like, what's this I've been hearing about, yeah, Batty man? And I was like, I don't know what people are talking about. They just don't like me because of the way I dress. That's what I said. And I just lied. As I moved to uni and I stopped working in my dad's shop, obviously people kind of knew that, something's not right. Do you get what I mean? It's like, why have you just gone ghost? But obviously, it come to find out that my whole family had found out about the situation between me and my brother. Do you get what I mean? My whole family, all my brothers, my cousins, my aunties. I heard things like my sister saying, oh, I don't want him around my kid. I don't want him around my son. I don't want him near me. I'm disgusted. Like, I had to deal with all that. Do you get what I mean? I had to deal with that on my own because I still hadn't even spoken to my mum about it. I'm at uni, I'm just doing my thing, I'm in my own space, I feel free, I got my new friends, I'm just living my life, do you get what I mean? In me meeting somebody new now, my mum's always thinking, why are you always going to East? Who is this person? Who is this person? But I'm not saying anything, do you get what I mean? My mum at the time knew all my friends' names, but for some reason this one guy, I don't want to tell her his name. It just didn't make any sense. But my mum was the type of person that she'll ask me once, but she won't pressure me. Do you get what I mean? She'll let it flow. Do you understand? And that's what happened. I was in that relationship, and it was good in the beginning. I found somebody that I felt like I was the breadwinner for. I felt like I was with somebody that needed me. So I felt like we was compatible. We was communicating, we would go out to eat, and it wasn't like we jumped straight into the relationship. When I first started uni was when he reached out to me, but then I only started dealing with him towards the end of my first year. So I felt like, he's really interested in me because he's never met me in person, but a whole year's gone by and you still want to get to know me, do you understand? So I've allowed him in a bit more, and that's when we started dealing around in my second year, going on second year. And that relationship went bad, it went sour. He started to use me for financial purposes. He would take my money, pay his rent, take my money, spend it on other guys, take my money, buy new clothes. I would leave brand new clothes in his house. He would take the clothes and go out in them. Like, he would just disrespect me. And I just didn't even know what to do with myself. But I thought I didn't know how to be by myself. I did not know how to be by myself. I didn't know what being by myself was like. So I would literally just push and fight for something that just was not there. Somebody that's sleeping with other people. Me and you are not even having sex at this point. I got to a point where sex wasn't something that I needed. It was only a bonus. Do you get what I mean? He's having sex with other guys and I'm just there funding his lifestyle like some waste man. We was the same age. We was both in uni doing our thing, but it just went sour. I've also found out that K has now started hanging around with N, and my best friend at the time has started building an even closer friendship with N. So I was just angry. I was so angry, and I started to normalize that, maybe it was me. When people would ask me about my past relationship and the first ever relationship that I had been in, I would actually blame myself, and I would say things like, I was going out with this person, but I used to be rude to him, so he used to beat me. Like, I used to make excuses for him. And I used to make excuses for him, and I became more angry, more antisocial. Underneath it all, I started to despise my friends because it was like, you lot have witnessed this boy punch me up, batter me. You lot have seen the bruises. You lot have seen everything, but you lot still hang around with him. You lot are still entertaining him and befriending him. And we ended up breaking up. I started to blame myself. I used to say that I was the problem. I used to say that I used to give him excuses. I used to put reasons behind the abuse. I used to find different reasons as to why he used to hit me, why he used to try and control me and manipulate me. And I was just angry all the time. I just became angry all the time. I would not talk to anybody. I wasn't dealing with nobody. In the next 3 years, I'm not dealing with nobody. I took a break. My family and friends were so fearful of me, like so fearful to a point where if you look at me wrong, I'm gonna want to fight you. Do you get what I mean? That's how bad it was, and kind of still is. It was like a don't play with me kind of thing. I would literally be grinding, doing my own thing at uni, leave uni, working, and I still want to be around my family, but I don't want to address nothing. Do you get what I mean? I started coming back around my dad's side of family, but I'm not addressing the situation that happened with my brother. Now in these 3 years, I'm starting to learn about myself. I'm starting to learn about my own style. I'm getting comfortable with my masculinity. I'm feeling myself. Do you get what I mean? And I felt like that's when my siblings and stuff started to fuck with me again, because it was like I was behaving more like a boy. I looked more like a boy to them. I was more presentable to them. And it's like, I can't respect that because I'm your brother. We grew up together. So regardless of how I looked, how I dressed, how I behaved, nobody knows you like I do, and nobody knows me like you do growing up. They only started to fuck with me again because I looked like a boy. I looked that masculine. I looked presentable. And these times I started to I started to feel myself again. When I was a teenager, I was dating girls, but I felt like the girls didn't kind of like me because I wasn't boyish enough, and they would always go into boys that were more muscular than me or played football, or some of them even went on to date my brother. And I used to resent my brother for that. I was like, what? I just used to be so angry. Do you get what I mean? And as I'm feeling myself, I'm back on the online dating thing because that's all I knew. I wasn't necessarily confident to where I'd go out into a rave and chat to a gal or go out in a rave and do all that. I wasn't that confident. So online dating, that online persona was me. Going on Instagram was me. Taking pictures was me. That's where I started to build like an Instagram following. That's where I started to like go online dating and do stuff like that. Meet up with girls, meet up with guys, not necessarily have, but just meet up with different people. In that 3 year gap, there was many girls that I was attracted to. There was many girls that I was feeling, but I just felt like there was something in them that wasn't feeling me. There was just there was that small little thing where they just didn't want to go into a relationship with me. So I was like, oh, like why is it that girls are not as attracted to me as how easy it is for a guy to be attracted to me? Do you get what I mean? So I used to beat myself up about that. I said, I just want to be free. Do you get what I mean? That's when I started to date guys again and take guys more seriously. That's when I started, that's why I started to just have my fun because I'm older now. I pay my own bills. I go where I want to go. I do whatever I want. The opinions start coming again. The old conversations are coming back up again. I'm rekindling with old cousins and my uncles and stuff like that, and the situation that had happened in the past is coming up again. But my issue was, it's like none of my cousins will come up to me and say, yo, what's this going on? Are you this way? Are you that way? None of them. I don't know if it's because they're scared of me or because they think I'm unapproachable. I don't know what it is. But none of them would come up to me and just have a chat with me. But they will sit around each other and chat people like they're perfect. And it just didn't make any sense to me. I just kept building a higher wall. The only person that has ever come to me and said, what's going on, what's this, what's that, is my mum. And it did take a few tries, but I eventually let my wall down and just started talking to my mum about stuff. Because from the beginning, she's always been there. She's never thrown me out because of my sexuality. She's never thrown me out because I dress a certain way. She never, ever, ever. But my dad's side of family, blood clot. You can't do Pim without them done in your blood clot. At this point, I didn't even chat to my dad. It got to a point where I was just like, F this nigga, bro. You can't talk to me, but you can go to my friends' parents and say, oh, he's a batty man. I don't deal with that. He's an embarrassment. You can go and do that to your own son. And I'm just like, bro, it's disgusting. My mom is the only one that has ever sat down with me and we've gone into depth about things. No one else. People will ask me questions, but there's just certain people that I would just be like, I'm not telling you because you're not asking me because you want to know. You're asking me so that you can run back and go and tell your little group of people that you chat with. It wasn't a case of me denying it, but I'm just not answering your questions because the information ain't going to benefit you in no way. You're just going to try and knock layers off and ask more questions. So I just wouldn't say anything. And I think a lot of people think that I'm embarrassed about my sexuality or I'm ashamed about my sexuality. The past 5 years, I have been the comfortablest I have ever been with my sexuality. I personally am not the type of person to go on social media and wait to be in a relationship to come out to my family. I'm not the type of person to wait for my family to walk in on me doing something for me to address my sexuality. No, I done it in my own time, and it might have taken long, but my mum was always there for me from the beginning, and it's mad that I didn't see that. But I'm glad I had that chance for me to go to uni, have my own space, do my thing, learn about me, to be able to then come back to my mum and then sit down and have a conversation with her. Whereas on my dad's side of the family, I've already removed him from even having a reasoning with him because my dad don't deal with embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to him. And what I don't understand is my family will sit there, be homophobic, make assumptions, say what they don't like and what they don't agree with. But fam, I don't smoke weed. I don't sell drugs. I've never been to jail. I have a degree. I use my degree as part of my career. I have my own merch business, my own hair business. I have a YouTube channel that's making a decent amount of revenue. I'm saving my money. I'm investing in my businesses. Some of my cousins have 3 or 4 baby mums. And I'm going to be real right now. My dad can't have chat for me. I don't care if you came to this country, had to work hard, and you done all that you can, but where is the love? Where was the love in that? You can be embarrassed about somebody's sexuality or somebody's life choices, but you're not embarrassed about having 5 kids from 4 different baby mums, not being in a stable relationship, not being able to look after your kids, abandoning your own 16-year-old daughter because you didn't like her life choices. I can't respect you. I can't respect a man that leaves the financial responsibilities onto his mother, doesn't speak to his daughter for a whole year. I can't respect you. I can't respect a man that at your big age doesn't have anything to accumulate to but 50 million baby mums. But you want to worry about my sexuality. And I say that about all my other cousins as well. It's like, you don't think because you got kids and you drive a car that you're better than me. I cannot respect people that now that you have a child is when you see that how my father has treated me is up. I can't respect people like that. It's too late. Now that you have birthed your own child, you know what unconditional love is. My success ain't even started yet, but my sexuality will never ever hold me back. And I've never ever been ashamed of it. But if I'm not comfortable with speaking about it to certain people, I'm not going to. Nobody walks around saying, I'm straight, I'm straight, I'm straight. So I don't need to walk around saying, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, or I'm bi, I'm bi, I'm bi. If I pop up and say, yo, I'm with this man, then that's what it is. If I pop up one day and I'm with a gal and I got a pick-me, then that is what it is. I don't like to put labels on myself because I know the stereotypes that come with labels. Do you understand? Every male that I'm next to that is a potential boo or I'm dating, why can they not be my friend? Why is it that every gay person or every bi person is promiscuous? That's why in this community, I've never really had much friends, because I'm not saying I have anything against people that do that, but I'm not as free as that. Doesn't mean I'm stuck up, doesn't mean I'm better than anybody, it's just not me. Because of the people that I've dated in the past, I've always been closed off. I've never been friendly because of being bullied, being abused. I love myself 100%, and nobody will ever change my emotions towards myself. If tomorrow I want to get tits, none of you lot could tell me nothing. Do you understand? If I wanted to wake up one day and put on a pink flared skirt, none of you lot could blood clot tell me anything. I may not have always openly stood in my truth, but with the circle that I've had and the friendships that I've had, those ones have made me comfortable. I did have a few friends that was slightly homophobic, would make crazy comments, and I would sit there and bite my tongue. There's people that would say, oh, I love gay people, or I love bi people, I love the LGBT community. Say that when it's your child, and then you will know how to deal with it. Because some of you like to pick and choose when you like something and when you don't. This road of recovery has been a long time coming. A lot of the things that I touched on in this video had scarred me for a very long time. But a few years ago, I covered those wounds. That's why my intro says, everything I gonna make sense soon. Get a band-aid and put it over the wound. Because cover that shit up and keep it pushing. Do you get what I mean? I can't live wondering about, oh, why does this person not speak to me? No, not anymore. That says a lot about you. You don't want to work with me because of my sexuality, but I have more to offer than the people you work with. The more to offer than the people you choose to associate yourself with. But it is what it is. I'll find the next route. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. I will never be ashamed of my sexuality. I'll never be ashamed of whoever I choose to date. Fam, if I'm in love, when I am in love, and if I'm in love, I will love that person unconditionally. But I'm never gonna be a public running around hugging and kissing up anybody on my social media platforms. The people that go on social media and try and use, you need to worry about your sexuality, you need to find who you are, It's triggers to see if I want to react. But you already know the deal. Do you understand? So there's no point in me reacting to you. It's pointless. I've been through abuse. I've been through trauma. I've been through molestation. I've been through sexual assault. I've been through all these things and it's made me who I am today. And yes, at times when I am in certain situations, I do not know how to react and I am broken and I do need to learn how to deal with certain situations. But I'm 10 times happier than I was 5 or 6 years ago. I look at that person and I'm just like, I wish you gained more comfortability with yourself a lot sooner, but everything takes time. Do you get what I mean? And I say to people out there, if you are in a situation where you literally can't escape, there's nothing wrong with having a circle around you that loves you. It might not be your family, but when you leave the house, make sure you got that tight circle that loves you and can reassure you from time to time that they got you and love yourself and have your own back. Do you get what I mean? Pat yourself on the back from time to time. Because there was a time when I was in uni, I didn't have no one to talk to. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I literally learned everything on my own. I was fighting my own demons and challenges in my small apartment at my uni by myself. After being thrown out of my dad's house, wondering what my brother thinks of me if he's told this person, after my siblings telling me they don't want me around their children, calling me a batty man to my friends' parents and stuff like that. I was broken. I didn't know what to do with myself. When I came back to London, when I reconnected with my old friends, when I started just living my life, when I started to talk to my mum a bit more, I felt so much better. And I know that there's people out there that may not be as lucky as me to be able to talk to their mum or even still be able to live under the same roof as their parents, but in time, you understand? In time. That was all for this video. If I missed anything out, please comment down below and I will answer your questions, or follow me on Instagram, DM me, and I will answer any of you lot's questions. This video might seem long, this video might seem like a long time coming, but I always said I will do it when I'm ready, I will do it when I'm comfortable and once my scars have healed. I didn't want to do it for clout, I didn't want to do it for views, I didn't want to do it for any other reason but just when I'm comfortable. Do you get what I mean? But over the past couple months, YouTube has been so therapeutic for me. YouTube has been my escape. As much as I'm giving out this information to the world, YouTube has been my escape. Once I put it out there, that's it. It's there. And I've released it. And I feel so much better. And seeing some of the responses that I get from people, I feel so much happier. As I said already, if I pop up one day and I'm with a guy, it is what it is. If I pop up one day and I'm with a girl, it is what it is. If I'm with both and we're in a triangle, it is what it is. I'm done worrying about my family's opinions, my family's approval. I'm done worrying about what is acceptable to put on social media for you lot, because you lot ain't doing no better. From I'm not in jail, from I'm not doing drugs or selling drugs, from I'm living a healthy lifestyle, my belly's full and my heart is clean, that is all that should matter. Anything else is outside noise to me at this point. I love myself, I love my mum, and I love the immediate support that I get from some of the individuals in my family. Other than that, I have nothing else to say to those individuals that may not agree with my life choices, my lifestyle, or my sexuality. If you want to label me as gay because I'm with a man, that is fine. If you want to label me as bi because you see me licking or kissing up a girl, that is fine. But me personally, I don't go by labels. I would more so prefer to be considered as non-binary, because sometimes I don't even feel masculine. I want to feel feminine. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes I want to feel masculine. It's all within my own mental, do you understand? I won't live by labels, I won't live by categories, and I won't live by stereotypes. I'm living through what I love to do and who I am as a person. But I will say that this is my perspective. Everybody's journey is different. Some people may be able to relate to some aspects of my life, but not everyone will. That was all for this video. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe to the ting, and thank you for the love every blood clot time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Phillip, that's GUHDEHPHILLIP. All my social media is Phillip. Make sure you DM me if you need advice, if you want to talk to me, I'm here. Do you understand? Watagwan, pan, watagwan.